All right, what's up, YouTube? So we tried to do a YouTube live, but we didn't realize you had to activate your account 24 hours in advance. So we had planned to do that tonight instead of uploading our regular video. So we're actually pre-recording this as if it were live and then not editing it at all and then uploading it straight. So you get the same experience, kind of. But
Sort of.
today we're going to talk about our van. For those of you following our channel, you know that we're tent camping in all 50 states, but we're also at the same time having a camper van built so that we can go further and longer. And we haven't really said too much about it. So we wanted to do a live YouTube and tell you a little bit more about our van.
Yeah, so here's the update.
I've got pictures on my fancy iPad. And this is how you know that I didn't go and edit this videos, because otherwise these would pop in, but you're going to have to look at them on our iPad. So this is the van. It's a 2021 Ford Transit, and it was a passenger van, and I took all the seats out and the paneling, and then we drove it up to Ozark Mountain Adventure Vans in Springfield. Shout out to those guys who have been laboring away for the past 5 months on making this thing our dream van.
Yes.
So one of the most early updates was this picture. Gary at Ozark Mountain sent it to us, but this is our bumper, and you can kind of see it's got a winch and then an LED bar across the top, and then LEDs in the bumper there. And so it's got this bull bar that goes across the front, and so we're excited about that. Never owned anything like that before, so I'm excited to learn how to use it. And then we got this picture, and we weren't really sure what we were looking at, but this is the framing that goes behind all of the furniture and the design layout, of the van. And so you can't really tell in this picture what's in here. And these are on our Instagram, right?
Yeah, well, if you follow Ozark Mountain Adventure Van, they're on there. And I'll create a highlight with our van build because we've been posting these on our stories.
Yeah. And so you can kind of see, like, there's two...
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Every time. So you can see that there's benches here where there'll be like a table, and then our bed goes across there, and it's on a lift, so it'll recess into the ceiling when we're not using it. And so that's kind of what's going on there. This was a while ago. So we actually have different updates. This one's the back bumper. And so you can kind of see, if we zoom in here, it's got like a spare tire mount, and then they're gonna put a cargo box there to put stuff in. And then those hinge out so that the back doors can open. And then they put a trailer hitch on there for us. Here's a better shot of the back bumper. And this bumper is made by Backwoods. Shout out to those guys. It looks really good. So we're excited about that. And then we didn't hear from them for a while, but they were doing a lot of like wiring and stuff that didn't require that. There wasn't a lot of like visible things to see. But then Gary sent us this picture, and this is the custom roof rack. And so you can kind of see on the van here. Let me zoom in here. The roof rack across the top, it's the full length of the van. And then there's a ladder that goes down to the ground from there. So we can climb up there and use that for storage, or if we just want to hang out up there, we can do that. And they have since powder coated that black, but we'll get to that in a second. They put on these Nerf rails on the side of the van. They also double as steps into the van. And then if we like high center or anything like that, we can actually use those to slide and move around with. But hopefully we won't high center. But in this one, you can also see a little bit of the framing on the inside. So walking into the side door here, you're walking into our kitchen area. And so, or the galley is what they would call it. And so that's the stuff in there. And then you can also see the front of the roof rack, how it fits on the front of the van there. And then going on to the next, this one's cool because you can see that they've powder coated the roof rack black to match the bumper. And you can also see in this photo that if you zoom in to the window behind the driver's window, you'll see they've put in a custom window that actually opens. So before it was just a stock window, like a van window that didn't open, that you could just look out. But this one will actually open so we can get natural air into the van. And you can see, you zoom in even further past the ladder, they've popped out that last window because that's where they're going to be putting our flares, which will be the first flares of its kind made for the extended length transit. So they're, I guess, still being made and past the prototype stage of all of that, which is why they're not in yet. But and as of the time that we're filming this video, they're still not in yet, but you can kind of see. And then on this picture they sent, so the window that I just showed you guys that opens up, this is what it looks like from the inside. So this is what it looks like when you step into our van from the side door. And you can see there's the window and it slides to open up. So that's fun. I realize it's kind of hard to orient yourself if you're watching this video because you don't have the van layout in mind like we do. But right here is the passenger and driver's seat. And then behind it, you can kind of see they've already framed it up. Here is a bench. So there's going to be a bench behind the driver's seat with seat belts so people can ride back there. But also a little table will fold out. So if like Mary Catherine's driving, which she usually does, I can be back there using a table to edit videos while we're on the road instead of me like using my lap and then I drop the hard drive and then, just all sorts of stuff like that. But zooming in, so there's the bench, and then this is going to be our bathroom area. So we're going to have a shower and toilet in that area. And then we've got some storage and stuff in the back. But also in this picture, you can see they've started the flooring. So they've already started to put the floor in the van, and they've, since this picture, finished the floor, but we haven't seen it completed yet.
Right. I love those floors too.
Yes.
I'm really excited.
Yeah. And just a shout out to the guys at Ozark Mountain. The floors that we originally picked out came in, and they called us, and they were like, hey, the floors look good, but they're not the quality that we would want to stand by. Mm-hmm. So we want you to pick something else out. Which at first I was like, what? That kind of stinks. But it just shows you the integrity of the guys at Ozark Mountain, that instead of just like being like, oh well, and like throwing it in there and then us having issues down the road, they had the integrity enough to call us and say, hey, you need a better quality floor for your van. And we like these a lot better. And so here's the guy installing the first of the floor. Like I said, it's been finished since then, but you can actually see the benches a little bit better. So those will be benches, and all of our solar batteries and stuff will be underneath those benches. And then, whoa, how did I do that?
Randomized.
Okay. And then you can kind of see our bed that's on these lifts. So if I zoom in there, that's the bed, those rails that go across, and those are the lifts that the bed goes up and down on, and that'll be on a switch, so we don't have to like crank the bed up or down or anything like that. It's just a push button or a turn key or something. Mm-hmm. We're not sure. We'll find out. And then
last one.
Last picture that they've sent us, and since I've talked to him on the phone since they sent this picture, and all of this work is done, but they put a van compass lift on it, and you can see they've taken that out. So they're redoing the suspension, putting an off-road suspension on there with a 2-inch lift to help us get over the terrain that we're going to be in. And so they've completed that. He said wheels are on their way. We ordered some off-road wheels to put on it. He said they've completed all of the insulation inside the van, so they're getting ready to go ahead and start paneling the van on the inside to make it look like a finished product camper van. Still waiting on the flares, so we can hashtag sleep sideways. So that's the update on the van. We thought we haven't really spoken much to it since then.
Yeah, and people ask us all the time. They're like, when are you getting your van? What have they been doing to it? And we're like, well, great question. So that's the update.
Yes, hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry we couldn't actually do this live. But as you can see, we did it all in one take with no edits. And so next time we'll have our credentials or whatever to go live when we want to. So if you guys have any questions about the van build, drop them in the comments below. We're excited to show it to you guys. We're just probably about between 3 and 6 weeks away from being there. So
yeah, we're excited.
All right, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Happy Sunday.